असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्माम् अमृतं गमय आविराविर्महेधि। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, and from this limited mortal existence to the true absolute existence itself, the immortality. So, friends, it's a very nice theme for today's discussion. I had given some time back in our Connecticut Center a day-long retreat on this idea of immediate experience. I think, hey Peter, this if you can tighten or keep a weight on this here so that it will stay like that. Otherwise it slowly keeps on sagging like our enthusiasm in spiritual.
Can you turn that? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Can you turn it, twist it or something? Tighten it?
I think it has reached its limit. I think this bar is too long, too heavy. It is the gravity that is. So if you can pull this, you can make this go there. And so, now that will work. You see?
Please shine on my husband went to your house Monday.
Excellent. This is a topic that we should pay a lot of attention to. Immediate experience or aparoksha anubhuti. That it's a very beautiful short treatise by the great Shankaracharya. And also, I am not going to refer much to that book because then it will be a very long lecture. But I will just present a few important ideas about our day-to-day experience, which, whatever we perceive, we take it to be real. That how do I know that you are all sitting here in front of me? The answer is, well, I see it. And seeing is believing. So, it must be real. I forget in this that this experience is brought to me through lot of mediacy. My sense organs, the mind, the whole programming that is involved in it. And because of that I am having this perception. So it is not an immediate experience. I can give you some examples that suppose you have put on dark glasses on your eyes. Then you see the Namaskar Ghosh Babu. So then the world will appear pretty dark to us. Once, I was driving and was having the dark glasses on my eyes, and then I wanted to look at my phone and forgot that I have dark glasses on my eyes. And I think, why the phones these days, the illumination is so terrible. Something has happened there. So actually nothing had happened there. I had put on the dark glasses. So that is how I forgot that it is the dark glasses that I have put on that is causing this difficulty. So we have the experience of I and world. If we look at each of our experience or all of our experiences, we will see that there are these two components to every experience. The I and the world, I and the you. There is no experience that does not have these two components. Maybe one experience which does not have this component, and that is the experience of deep sleep. But otherwise, all our experiences have these two components. We cannot have any experience of just one component. So, let us, Namaskar Meena.
Namaskar, Swami.
Yes, Namaskar. Yeah. So I was asking somebody here that are the ghosts coming? And then, well, we don't know, but yes, maybe they are coming. So it is.
I really wanted to miss it. Sorry, we got little late.
So, this is all experience that I get through mediacy. And therefore, its validity depends on the medium that I use to perceive it. There is the you and there is the I. And the I that is seeing is not really the I that is a true and pure I, but I with so many different types of glasses put on all organs, not only just eyes, but on all instruments of perception. There are these glasses. In fact, these instruments themselves are like the glasses. And so the experience that we get is a distorted experience, and also an experience that has been generated through a program. It is, if you see, that how we see, it is not just eyes. There is so much of software, a program involved in generating the vision, and we take it as if it is real like that. It is a visual experience generated there. We have a software that creates the sense of time and space, and the distinctions associated with it. The sense of time and space, what is it? That we see the distinctions, and the distinctions, that separateness between the different objects, that gives us the sense of space. Swami Vivekananda mentions this, illustrates this very beautifully in his lectures on Jnana Yoga, that what we call space is the separation or the distance between the objects that we perceive. There is no such thing as space without objects. It is. So the distinction between the objects, the separation, like here is Prabhakar and there is Tejas. Now why do I see the two objects? There is a separation, there is a space, and that creates the sense of the space. And then because of this repeated experience, the whole thing gets upside down. I think that all these objects are in space, as if there is something like space and in which all these objects are. It is just upside down. It is, these objects are generating the sense of space. It is not that they are in space. Similarly with time, it is a program that makes us see the distance not only between objects but between events. The distance between events gives us the sense of time, and our brain as it were puts them in an order, a linear order. This, after that this, after that this. So it is thus that generates the sense of time. And then we start feeling, because of that repeated experience, that there is something like time. But that is generated by the distinction of the events that we perceive. We order them, we put them in a line, this after this after this, like arranging, the chairs. 1, 2, 3. There is an order there. So it is from this end, if I am seeing, then I will say that Rina is sitting after Gauri. Gauri is sitting here first, this lady Gauri with, and then Rina is sitting after Gauri. But if I am counting from that side, I will say, no, Rina is first, Gauri is sitting after that. So that is how the ordering of the events that generates a sense of time. And since this ordering, we do it only one way, and we have what is called in physics a very peculiar, very intriguing phenomena called arrow of time. Time has this peculiar aspect that is very intriguing, that we cannot think of going back in time. There are movies and fiction, lot of that time machine, but it is a fiction that we are reading in the time that we take for granted, that goes according to the arrow. So even if that fiction is telling about going back in time, it is not going back really. You may see a movie, there are movies, the time machine and all those, that you travel back in time, but you are not traveling back in time. It is, so this is how our instrument of perception is, that we take for granted and forget that the actuality may be completely different. It is the instrument of perception that is generating this experience. This is a mediate experience, not an immediate experience. This is a mediated experience. And then if you want to see what the experience is actually like, how, like if I have put on dark glasses, how the world looks. Okay, let me take these glasses off, and then I will be able to perceive that what actually is there. And thus human beings are always in search for truth. That okay, this is what I understand through my sense organs, through my mind, but what is the actuality? What is the truth? On various fronts, like the fronts of physical sciences as well as the philosophical analysis, this search has gone on for a long time. That what is then the reality? What is the truth? Because this is very easy for anybody to appreciate, that the experience that we are having is not a complete truth. That is why we have to do research, isn't it? Why do we have to learn? If whatever we see is true, then there is no need to further do any analysis, further do any learning, except just to keep the universities alive and all that. There is no otherwise any need to do further analysis if whatever we see is true as it is. So inside us somehow the very fact that we need to learn shows that what we see is not fully true. Therefore we have to find out the truth. We have to discover the truth. As you enter our state, Rhode Island, recently they had put boards. Earlier they used to just write, welcome to Rhode Island and all that. Now they have put a board that I don't like at all, because I like state of Rhode Island. The board is that discover the beautiful Rhode Island. As if it is not beautiful, you have to discover it is, so it is this world. You see, as we see it, somehow we feel that it is not true. That is why we have to discover the truth. It is, and we make a lot of efforts to go beyond what we perceive through sense organs. That is why all the scientific knowledge depends on a very important criterion, objectivity. It should not depend on subject. It may be that Pradeep found something while doing some experiment. But if somebody else is doing that experiment and didn't find it, only Pradeep can find it, then that is not a scientific truth. It is his personal something. That truth has to satisfy the test of objectivity. The personal things should not interfere in it. It is so. Now, how to achieve that objectivity in finding the truth? There is this I and the world. So, whatever experience I get is my experience. It is colored by what my mind. And so, the objective truth I will never be able to perceive. Philosophically speaking, in that field, that Immanuel Kant, a long time back, after a lot of work, came up with this kind of formula that whatever we perceive is really X. Actually, it is X plus mind. There are two things. One is X. X suggests unknown. X usually stands for the unknown thing. So they call it X factor, means not known, it is all guesswork. So X plus mind. X plus mind. X is unknown and unknowable. You can never know that. As soon as you try to know, it is X plus mind. So, all that we can think of is a mediate experience. The X perceived through this instrumentality, and therefore, scientists don't like this idea. But after all, everybody has to accept this reason behind, or the logic behind it, that therefore, basically, science is not capable of finding the objective truth. It sounds harsh, friends, but the science basically depends on the instruments, our sense organs and mind. So, therefore, that is always the glasses that we will be putting on to see the things. And thus, we will not see any truth there. It will be the truth plus mind. That's it. That is and so it is only a mediate experience. And that another reason why it is the instrumentality is very baffling here. We are not able to calibrate those instruments. In any laboratory work, we have instruments, and then first they need to be calibrated. They had to be passed through the test whether these instruments are right or not right. And so if after calibration we trust those results, it is suddenly one time, my blood pressure, and when I went to the doctor, the blood pressure was showing something horrible. It is, some 200 over something. I am feeling fine, it is. So, all that apparatus was not properly calibrated, and therefore it was showing all these funny things. So, do we calibrate this instrument called sense organs and mind? There is no calibration, because who is going to calibrate? Again we will be calibrating with the same instruments. Another reason to doubt this is, at least in the external instruments that we put on, we are able to take it out and see that this is that instrument. Here are my glasses, I put them on or I take them off. With this division of I and the world, there is this instrument of perception and the self that perceives. There, one problem is you cannot draw a boundary line where I ends and the world begins. Try, I have given it a hard try, and I saw that you can never draw a line where I ends and the world begins. We are so sure of this division, I and the world are separate. But then for separation you need to know, isn't it, that here the I ends and the world begins. There is no such line, no such defined separation. Because whatever is not I, from another angle, if you see, it is I. So it is all very hazy picture. It is not correct picture at all. That is why we are led to deeper probe. And this is, I say, it is not I, this water, it is world. If I sip a little bit now, that thing is I. Is it world? Was it world? All very questionable to say. Same thing, about what I call I becomes world. It is, suppose this is the nail, I, and if I cut and throw, will I call that as I? Nobody will call it as I. You go to barber, cut the hair. Before that, before going to barber, if somebody pulls your hair, you will say, hey, why are you pulling me with hair? Don't pull me by hair like this, it hurts. Now you go to barber. Suppose Tejas goes to barber. Do you go anytime? Yeah. Now the barber cuts the hair lying there. Do you think that it is you? No, it is not you. So what is I and what is not I? Very big problem, friends. That is why we keep on looking for a solution. And Vedanta has come up with a startling answer. It conforms to a great extent with what Kant has discovered, that what we perceive is X plus mind. Now, if we have a way to eliminate mind, then what will be left?
Consciousness.
X, consciousness, or whatever name you gave. That unknown will become then, in a way, known. It becomes the truth. So, that is then the immediate experience. I used to be very intrigued by, when I first read, I was a college student then and was very much convinced that whatever science discovers must be true. It is proved. Science proves everything. And so, it is not like those statements of those so-called sages or whatever, there is no proof, no evidence, nothing. Whereas here, we prove the things. Of course, when you learn science a little more, then you understand that in science you cannot prove anything. And we had a very nice lecture some years back about science and spirituality. It was a symposium, and from Brown University, a professor of chemistry had come there, and he said, a very nice orator. So he said, first of all, let me tell that science can disprove, but science cannot prove. Why? He said, whatever data we have now, on the basis of that, we draw certain conclusions, and okay, as far as that data goes, these conclusions are okay, but can you definitely prove that there will not be any data generated afterwards which will not be able to conform to this conclusion? No, nobody can prove that, and therefore science does not prove anything. It is a probability, it is possible, but cannot be fully proved. If you find that one example that principle is violated by this incident, then you say yes, you can disprove it, that it is not true, because this particular event, this fact shows that that principle does not become applicable here, so it is false. That disproving is possible, proving is not possible for science. Now, at that time, when I read Swami Yogatmananda's biography, as say what you call here a sophomore undergrad student. So, and there I read that very famous incident when he met Sri Ramakrishna and asked his question that he had been asking to many, that have you seen God? And Sri Ramakrishna tells him with great conviction. The first sentence I understood, that yes, at least sentence, that the sentence didn't create any confusion, that yes, I see God. Then second part of that sentence, I see God just like I see you. The next part of it was really hitting me very hard, only more intensely. More intensely, I am seeing God more intensely than I see you. That created a kind of storm. There is no explanation given there. that what is the meaning of seeing more clearly. Sri Ramakrishna does not elaborate on that at that point. What is the meaning of seeing more clearly? And then I knew one Swami those days, so I went to see him and then asked him, what do you make of this more intensely? And he said, hey, it is very simple. When you see things, one person seeing another person, there is the mediacy of the senses and mind through which the other person is being seen. When you see God, when somebody sees God, there is no mediacy involved in it. These eyes are not used for seeing God. A very important fact that one must note, that it is the removal, the abstraction of the mediacy, and then God alone is. You see the divine. There is a very beautiful statement of Meister Eckhart, a great mystic, that he said, you cannot see God by these eyes. You have to use the eyes with which God sees you to see God. What a beautiful idea, that it is with those eyes you can see God. So this is the experience that transcends all mediacy. This is what is called aparoksha anubhuti. There is no instrumentality involved. Now, analysis can take us to this conclusion. At least at the intellectual level, coming at this conclusion is not very difficult. You are all such intelligent people here. This is a research triangle area here. They say it is the world's most PhD dense area. So many PhDs all around here. You just throw a stone and it will fall on the head of a PhD. So it is. So it won't take people long to appreciate that if this mediacy is taken out, then we will experience deep truth. It is. Now what does it really involve to practically do it? Is it just a kind of intellectual gymnastic? Again, our mediacy is getting involved in it. It is, or is it an experiential thing expressed in words understandable to ignorant people like us? And there comes the third statement that Sri Ramakrishna makes there. That was a very encouraging statement. If you want to see God, and if you do what I tell you to do, you also will be able to see God. So, it is not a matter of anybody's monopoly. That only some such people who have a cross on their forehead will be able to see God. No such thing. Only those people who have minimum height of 6.5 feet will be able to see God. Nothing like not such criterion, you see. Anybody who wants to see and is going to take the trouble to do what is needed, that person will be able to see God. It is the removal of this instrument. In one word, that instrument is called ego. In one word, all this instrumentality can be called ego. So, since we are addicted to these instruments, we are attached to those instruments to such an extent. Attached is a mild word, let me say. We are actually identified with those instruments. So it is very difficult to even imagine taking them off. We feel we will be gone, we will be lost. Actually, that is what happened to Vivekananda also as Narendranath. Sri Ramakrishna wanted, seeing that he is such a pure-hearted, qualified soul, he wanted to remove all that instrumentality, all that mediacy, and touch Narendranath. And the whole thing started whirling around him. And with fear he cried, "What are you doing to me? I have my parents." Sri Ramakrishna smiled. "Oh, okay, you have parents, then let it remain, let it be for now." We are scared of losing our instruments. We are scared of losing our so-called individuality. We are scared, if I can use that word. Swami Ranganathananda uses that word in similar context. We are scared of losing our dumbness. It is. We are very scared that what will happen if I lose my dumbness. Do we want to be dumb? If we are asked this question, nobody will say. Even Tejas will say, no, I don't want to be dumb. Nobody wants to be dumb. But we are, if that dumbness is so sweet, if that dumbness I see as the source for the so many pleasures that I get, it is, then, well, I don't want to part with that dumbness. And thus, we are stuck with this unreal, continuously changing and frustrating perception that we have. Very confusing. Here, therefore, we do not know what is real and what is not real. What is giving happiness and what is giving misery. All things, although they are words opposite in dictionary, in practice we see they are all real, they are all together. They act as synonyms. It is life synonymous to death? You will say, no, they are antonyms. Life is opposite of death. But what we call living, just imagine, what we call living is marching towards a certain death. So we are dying, but we call it living. This man is living. That say a man died at the age of 90. So what was we say that man was living for 90 years. But 90 years the person was walking towards a certain death, isn't it? So for 90 years the person was dying. It is, with everything it is like that. I don't want to elaborate much because it is all very beautifully explained by Swami Vivekananda and by Shankaracharya, by all great sages. Swamiji's lectures in Jnana Yoga, especially those lectures or those three lectures titled Maya and evolution of the concept of God, and Maya and freedom. You will see in these that how the life is all entangled in contradictions. What is mine and what is not mine? Look at that, I call this is my house. Well, is it really my house? The cockroaches living there, they also say it is my house. Is it my house? Not my house. It is the person's, it is all the same thing, you like a person, love a person, get into relationship and all that. And then one day I was telling one lady, that citing her husband, tell that I took his name, you are this, to come and see me. And she said, don't say mine, it's not mine or anything. It is, yeah. And it is probably she had a fight that day or whatever. Oh well, it is, yeah. And not to have a fight is something unusual. It is. So it is. So it is. Is it mine or not mine? You never can tell what is mine. It is. So this is so confusing, contradictory. What is mine is not mine. What is not mine again from a different angle is mine. So our knowledge is ignorance. Again, I am not going to elaborate on this. I am looking at the clock too. It is.
Still you have more than 15 minutes.
Yeah, I have some time, but I have to tell a few more things. So it is that our knowledge, Sri Ramakrishna's that statement was also very intriguing. That where there is knowledge, there is ignorance too. Said, how can that be? Because what we call knowledge is really not knowledge at all. It is, it is giving different names, and then we call that knowledge. It is what we know is really variety of ignorance, and then that gets called as knowledge. It is. So is it knowledge? Well, yes, from one angle it certainly is knowledge, but then it is ignorance too. Knowledge is ignorance, ignorance is knowledge, contradiction. And yet that is what we have. Things are so much, intertwined. Although they are opposite, we get them together. So this is the nature of our experience, and thus the reason for that problem is this is all mediate experience. This is the problem because of the mediacy. If we can take out this mediacy, then we will have the truth. How to do that? How is there a way of doing it? It is, and then the answer is yes. There is a way of doing it. How do we go beyond the mediacy? First thing, there are many things needed for that. The first and foremost thing is that there must be the strong desire to go over this mediacy. There has to be first thing for taking any big, enormous undertaking that requires lot of time and energy to be invested, that we must feel the need to do that. I must feel a strong need to do that. Then I will undertake that. Otherwise, what is the need of doing it? Oh, I am fine without that. It is that one of our devotees wanted to buy a house. Now looked around and then saw nearby where they wanted to stay right near the Vedanta society. So they started looking for the houses, and being an area close to university and all, so a bit high price, they didn't want to go far away, high price, not very good houses and all that. So they finally dropped that plan because well, we are okay as we are. Why unnecessarily invest so much money? We may not be staying here for too long, who knows, depends on my job and all that. So, therefore, when you do not feel, they could have found if there was that intense desire to find. But I am fine right now. There is not much of a need to go overboard and find it out. So as long as we feel fine with our life, with this perception of mediacy, we will not make that determined effort. Okay, I am fine, I have got a decent job, a fairly good income, and I am getting along very well. I have a fairly good family, and okay, there are not so many health problems to be worried about. Things are going on fine. We do not then feel the need to get to the bottom of the things. We don't feel that intense need to get at the truth because this is all looks fine. So it is therefore Swami Vivekananda mentions in Karma Yoga that it is only when the blows come then that shakes us, and then we become introspective and ask this question: is this all real? Is this all just hallucination, it seems? Is it real? That question gets asked then, and now you have the intense desire to realize the truth, what is called mumuksha. This mumuksha, the intense desire to get liberated, because this ignorance, this not knowing the truth gets perceived then as a bondage. This is what is binding me down to this changing world. I am being kicked around here because of this misperception. I have to get rid of this bondage. That is a beautiful word, mumuksha. The opposite of it is bubhuksha, bhoktum ichha, the desire to enjoy the world. And that is bubhuksha. So if there is bubhuksha, there is no mumuksha. So therefore, the having mumuksha means we have to kick out this bubhuksha. And people become, naturally very, is it really bad to have some desire to enjoy? Okay, if you find it, bondage is good, then it is fine. It is good or bad depends on what you want, you see. It is what you want is important. If you are okay with bondage, then that is all right, no problem. But when we see that this desire for enjoyment and desire to enjoy the world is putting me in lot of bondage, then I want to become a mumukshu rather than a bubhukshu. The desire to enjoy the world is replaced then by the intense desire to get liberated. Moreover, a person ponders over all those things that I thought will bring me happiness. Mm, that it doesn't seem to do that. I go to grab something to get happiness. And I am able to grab that thing, but I am left with that thing. The happiness seems to be gone by that time from that. So, what happened? I am now left with the bondage of that thing. That is stuck with me. The happiness that it had is gone. It is like you went to say, you saw a box of nice cookies and you took it, paid for it, and then you soon saw that you opened it and it was empty. Then you decided, oh, I got cheated here, let me throw the box. But the box had such glue that you could not throw it. So it is stuck with you. And then you thought, okay, now let me buy something else. All things in the world, they are like that. They generate a bondage around you. It is very funny, but that is how it is. So when you see the hopelessness of this situation, then one wakes up to this desire. No, it is very painful. It is very painful. One starts really intensely crying about it internally. I don't want this. Everything that I try to get slips off my finger. A prayer comes out, you see, an intense prayer from the heart, and not from the lips, but from the heart. That prayer comes out, that ayurnashyati pashyatam pratidinam yati kshayam yauvanam pratyayanti gata punarna divasah kalo jagadbhakshakah lakshmi tu yataranga bhanga chapala vidyuchalam jivitam tasmad mam sharanagata sharanada tvam raksha rakshadhuna. That this life, every moment I see it is ebbing away, going away, never to come back. The day gone is gone, not coming back. All the wealth that I collected, well, it comes and goes, no use. It is so, oh Lord, now please make me get rid of all this bondage and protect me. You are my savior. That intense prayer comes out then, that I need to get rid of this bondage. Then you become ready to make the investment, that all the investment necessary for it. You are ready now. That okay, what do I have to do? Then such a person approaches a teacher. That okay, please instruct me. It is the teacher, is a necessary aspect in this. It is we because of our ego think, why should I have teacher? Well, I am intelligent enough, I am so wise. And I am also a double PhD. So what I have got for a teacher? Well, even to get PhD you need a guide, you see. Even to go in a primary school, to go there you have a teacher to learn even the ordinary things. And that is why Yatishwaranand says in that beautiful book, Meditation and Spiritual Life, that those who question the need for a guru in spiritual life, they shouldn't be sending their children to school.
Right.
It is. Why? It is. Even to study all those little things, you need a teacher. It is even to repair shoes, you need to go to a teacher. It is, but for this spiritual life, I don't need it. I can do it on my own. I can read books. It is, it is reading the books doesn't make any impact on you. It is the teacher. One goes with humility to the teacher. It is with such intense prayer, please protect me, please get me out of this mire in which I am stuck, please, please. That prayer, it is not just a formal prayer, okay, I am coming to you just to get some spiritual wisdom, just okay, I have 15 minutes of time. In 15 minutes, give me the spiritual wisdom and that's it. That is not the way to approach a guru. So it is, you have to have that intense feeling that it is this guru who is going to help me come out of this terrible situation of mediate experience. And then you get those instructions. It is, the instructions are basically meditate on your divine nature. Think of your true nature. And we have the faculty in us of meditating on that which is not an experience through instrument. That is the only experience, I hinted at that, the experience of I. That is only immediate experience that we have. Nobody has seen I with the eyes or heard through the ears. We never see I. Even if you stand in front of the mirror, you see the reflection of the body, that's all. Even if you put an X-ray machine to take picture, you will not see I, only the inside of the body may become visible. It is, how do I see this self? Self is an experience. Everybody has that experience of self, cannot be taken out. It is, everybody knows I am. Even this little child sitting there, what is your name? You?
Sagnik.
Huh?
Sagnik.
Sagging.
Sadnik.
Wow.
Very good, Sadnik. So he will also say I am. One little child like him went to a big fair, and then while the parents and all, they were taking the child here, there, and the child got interested in certain thing and then was looking here and there and got separated from the parents. Parents went in one direction and the child, so started naturally, little child got so upset, so scared, started crying. So one gentleman came and started patting him. Oh dear, are you lost? And this little child says, no, I am here. They are lost. I am right here. Why are you asking this question? I am not lost. Nobody's I am never lost, you see. That is an immediate experience that cannot be shaken away. So we have to make a stand on that. And then keep on remembering that this I is beyond all senses all the mental phenomena, and we have to keep on affirming that it is gradually one will be able to see those things little by little. But for sure we will be able to see that. That is the very important and great method given in Vedanta. It is it's just 3 words. Vedanta, teachings are kind of cryptic and very short. These days, those who use that texting and all, they use such funny things. I find it difficult to understand. When somebody texted, TTYL. What is this? Talk to you later, So, yeah, what is this? Talk to you later. Some other person, texted like that at TYVM. What is thank you very much, TYVM. It is all funny, but they use it all the time, It is, so, it is, similarly, the teachings in Vedanta, they are sometimes very short, very cryptic. That in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, that teaching comes very potent. It is what one has to do: Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Keep on hearing about it again and again and again. And it is, don't say that, that Swami keeps on talking the same thing. I heard, somebody told us, Swami, I heard your lectures are same thing. If you have heard one, you have heard all. It is, yeah, but it is to be done again and again and again. It is keep on doing it again and again. Shravana. Get it in, get it in, get it in. We have been getting this world in this manner, in and in and in, for who knows how many decades or how many lifetimes. So now we have to reverse the process and take in this truth that yes, the truth about the transcendent and transcendental immanent nature of this self. So, keep on taking it in, Shravana. And how long we have to do it? How long we have to hear it? Till the meaning becomes clear. That is called really listening, isn't it? That it is, somebody uses, say, the word chair. Then the meaning of chair quickly comes before me, that chair, I won't call this as chair. Chair means I know what is the meaning. As I hear the word, the meaning becomes apparent. If one says I or the self, is the meaning becomes clear? Nothing. If somebody says God, the meaning becomes clear? No. So till the meaning becomes clear, we need to hear. And then whatever is heard, manana, keep on meditating on it, thinking about it. Try, that the words of the sages will create a ripple in us. Like a stone thrown in a lake, and there will be the ripples. So, look at those ripples. That is causing, the thought process in the mind. That it is, what does it mean? What does it say? So, think about that. It is also, this manana is described as countering all the arguments presented by the opposite side, the counter to what the sages are telling. It is like Sri Ramakrishna said, God realization is the goal of life. now a counter thought comes, Paula will say, why that, maybe some fools may have that as goal, but I can have another goal. Why everybody? So such thoughts will come to us, and then we have to counter those. By using our intelligence, our understanding, that I have to counter that. It is, thus it becomes firm in us. Manana, nididhyasana. Shravana, manana, nididhyasana. Nididhyasana means, holding firmly on to it, that I have to achieve this in life. There is no alternative to that. There is the firm determination to do that. That is called nididhyasana. So this is the means. And applying this means, what happens? As Sri Ramakrishna assured Narendranath, that assurance is actually not just to Narendranath. It is assurance through Narendranath to all of us, that if you want to realize God, if you want to see God, and if you are ready to do what I tell you to do, then you will also see it. It is exactly same as we followed the directions in the GPS, and from Greenville I got here following the directions. So anybody who follows the directions will get here. Vedanta is very impersonal and scientific from that angle. There is no monopoly that only some sage realized this, or some great prophet could see God, and nobody else is now able to see that. Then that is not a correct statement. If somebody can see, why not me? I also can see God. And yes, we all have that assurance of Sri Ramakrishna with us. Let us hold on to that assurance and proceed forward. We will surely see God. Surely see God. There is no doubt about it. Let us affirm this and move on. It is such a nice time I could spend with you all, thinking of this very noble idea, very elevating thought, and my sincere thanks to you all for giving me this blessed opportunity. So with this I conclude my talk today.